Well, for more on Turkey's divisive referendum, we're joined by Joshua Walker. He's a transatlantic fellow at the German Marshall Fund. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you.
So we're talking about, envelopes looking suspect, some of the votes not being stamped. Is there a chance that this could be overturned?
It doesn't seem likely. There's obviously some irregularities, but I think by and large, the average Turkish person will say, look, these results reflect the Turkish will. It seems to me that even if there are some irregularities, it's not enough to completely change it. I think the real surprise here was that it was very predictable. All polls showed this, and it ended up being the same way.
Why did he lose in the districts with the three biggest cities?
This is the big surprise. He was mayor of Istanbul. He lost Istanbul. That was a surprise. It seems that the urban populations are those that are beginning to sour on kind of the AKP and Erdogan's rule. They've been the biggest beneficiaries in some ways, but the people now who are the biggest supporters are kind of in central Anatolia, the heartland of Turkey, that are beginning to say, look, this is our guy. People in the urban areas are saying, look, we're looking for something else. Can there not be an alternative to a one-man rule?
Looks like a razor-thin victory for Erdogan. What do supporters believe that will actually be better for them with him in power? On basis of what?
Susan, the real thing about this election was it was all about kind of stability. Clearly, Turkey's gone through a very difficult period of time, beginning obviously with Gezi Park, going through the coup attempt, and now the real option was either stick with Erdogan and make this a presidential system or go into the unknown. And enough of people said, look, 51%, we want to stay with what we know, even if it may not be the best moving forward. This is stability. We prefer a presidential system to what we've known in the past, which was instability, and that's exactly what Erdogan has capitalized on.
All right, so on that note, what will Turkey look like now? Do we know?
Turkey, it's going to be interesting to see how quickly Erdogan implements these reforms. It's not till 2019 when there will actually be an election. The real question is, can the opposition come together? If they continue to focus on the past and fight the election results, in some ways, like in the U.S. and like in other countries, whether it's a Brexit vote or otherwise, they're on the back foot. But if they can focus on the future and say, you know what, the way to really defeat Erdogan in his own game is to get an opposition candidate and bring him to 2019 and have an election, that will be interesting. Plus, how the international environment community responds to this, as your reporter pointed out. And also, Turkey lives in a very volatile neighborhood. What's going to happen in Syria that could potentially bring Turkey into a very different context in this region of the world?
International monitors saying the vote took place on this unlevel playing field, that the yes camp had much more media coverage. What more could the European Union have done to influence this vote?
I think in many ways, whatever international actors say, it plays right into the hand of the nationalists who have begun to make Turkey feel much more polarized and divisive, to say no one is our friend. The only friend of a Turk is a Turk himself. The very colorful language used against Holland and Germany about Nazism, et cetera. I think the Europeans in some ways need to kind of reset their relations and say, okay, we're going to have to figure out ways of working with Turkey. It's too important. It's too big to fail. What are the specific areas we can work together? This is obviously a domestic issue in terms of who the Turks decided they wanted to go with and the presidential system. How we criticize Turkey moving forward will be very critical in the days ahead.
All righty. Well, Joshua Walker, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Always great to see you.